is shouting for joy. Come dance in the forest, come play in the field, and sing, sing to the glory of the Lord. Sing to the sun, the bringer of day, carries the light of the Lord in his rays, the moon and the stars who light up the way unto your throne. The heavens are telling the glory of God, and all creation is shouting for joy. Come dance in the forest, come play in the field, and sing, sing to the glory of the Lord.
Welcome to your cathedral. I'm Father Greg Sakowicz. Great one-liner. I told my suitcases that there'll be no vacation this year. Now I'm dealing with emotional baggage. Father Smolka really likes that one. Again, week in and week out, a big special thank you to Mark Teresi, the Golden Voice, for great music week in and week out, accompanied by David Jonas, does a tremendous job, director of music. So to Mark and David, thank you. Special thank you again to Father Mark, producer Smolka, who does such an incredible, fabulous job of taking all the productions week in and week out with B-roll and puts it into a beautiful package. So to Father Mark, to David, and to Mark, thank you. When Mark Twain was a poor young reporter in Virginia City, he was walking along the street one day with a cigar box under his arm. He encountered a wealthy, elderly lady that he knew who said very scornfully, "Mr. Twain, you promised me that you would give up smoking." "Madam," replied Twain, "this box does not contain cigars. I'm moving." Did you ever realize how often we get so caught up with what we do not have that are blinded to the treasures we already possess as gifts from the Lord? Searching is a part of life. What are we looking for? What are we finding? We may stumble, lose hope, lack direction, but the treasures of the Lord, his many gifts, are always ever before us. In today's gospel passage this weekend, both people sold everything they had in order to acquire their new treasures. But let me go a little further and ask, so they have their pearl, they have their hidden treasure. Now what? Was the discovered treasure acted upon? Was the discovered pearl acted upon? They paid a great price, and the joy of discovering is worth, however, the price one pays. But did they act upon those treasures? That's the key. Are we acting upon the treasures we have been given by the Lord? Do we even see them? Ben Franklin once said, "A long life may not be good enough, but a good life is long enough." For the treasure and the pearl really represent our response to life, God's gift. I was recently, maybe about a year ago, talking to a woman who asked some incredibly insightful questions. Her first question: why do some people throw happiness away? She continued, why are some people blinded to the gifts they already possess and been blessed with by the Lord? It includes life, family, friends, neighborhood, faith. The list went on and on. Why do some people look for happiness in all the wrong places? Why are some people never satisfied with enough? Listen to the story. A man would come in each day to a restaurant that served a small loaf of bread with a meal. So shortly after sitting down, he would ask for more bread while the meal was being served. And after a few days of this, the waitress got tired of always running back and forth to the kitchen, so she put 2 loaves of bread in front of him. Now, much to her surprise, he still finished them in record time. He asked for even more bread. So she then came the next time with 2 baskets with 4 loaves in each when it came to him, only to have him eventually demand for more bread, and she watched him eat it. Finally, she had it with him, so she talked to the baker prior to his next visit. The baker made a huge loaf of bread, 2 feet by 2 feet in diameter. She thought to herself, this will now shut him up. When he came in and was seated, she went back into the kitchen for the bread, struggling to carry this 2 foot by 2 foot loaf of bread back to a spot. She was now smirking. She dropped it on the table in front of him. He looked at the loaf of bread, paused, looked up and said in a very whiny voice, "Oh, so I see we're back to 1 piece of bread again." Does our life also carry excess baggage? Do we complain too much? What weighs us down in life? Selfishness, greed, anger, lust, an unforgiving heart, hatred, racism, life on my terms, attitude, alcoholism, drugs, material possessions, bitterness. What weighs me down? And that list goes on and on. You know, in many ways, our life is also like a crossword puzzle with our ups and downs and the crosses, just like a crossword puzzle. True story. One of Emily Mindle's daily rituals was solving the New York Times crossword puzzle, and she was very good at it. One morning, while she and her boyfriend were having breakfast at a New York restaurant, he offered her the crossword puzzle page of the paper, as he always did, while he pretended to thumb through the front section of the New York Times. Emily didn't think much of it, so when she came to 18 across, 5 letters, poet Dickinson, the answer, of course, was very simple, her first name, Emily. She then came to 14 across, Microsoft chief to some. The answer turned out to be Bill G. 20 across, 1929 Jonathan Swift pamphlet. The answer, a modest proposal. Now Emily started to suspect something. Her boyfriend, Bill Gottlieb, the Bill G, had contacted the Times puzzle editor and asked if the paper would consider putting his marriage proposal in the form of a puzzle. The editor thought, what a great idea, and fit the clues into his grid. When Emily finally came to 56 across, she realized just how special this puzzle was. The clue, 1992 Paula Abdul hit. The answer, will you marry me? So, Emily, Bill G, a modest proposal, will you marry me? Emily looked over, gave Bill a huge hug and kiss and said, absolutely, yes, I will marry you. Like Emily's discovery in that day's crossword puzzle, our lives are meant to be a time of finding the holy, sacred, and meaningful in the puzzles that confront us sometimes daily. Israel's King Solomon understands this when he asks God in today's first reading for wisdom, for an understanding heart. He asks God for an understanding heart. Jesus invites us to seek the treasures and pearls of lasting value that are the things of God, the love of family and friends, the support given and received in being part of a family, a wonderful faith community like the cathedral, the sense of joy and fulfillment found in serving and giving for the sake of others. I don't know about you, but for me, summer is moving by much too quickly. July is almost to a close. But you know, in many ways, for me, it does not feel like summer. I guess because of COVID-19 and restrictions and being so careful. But I do know this. Our lives, like summer, also move by much too quickly. For all of us, what are we searching for in life? What buried treasures and pearls are we seeking? May we always seek treasures and pearls that connect with God, family, and friends, and always living for others. The great composer Vladimir Horowitz once said, "The piano is the easiest instrument to play, but the hardest instrument to play well." The piano is the easiest instrument to play, but the hardest instrument to play well. I think that can also be said about the gift of life. Our being here on earth is God's gift to us. What we do with our life is our gift back to God. What are we willing not just to die for, but to live for? For in life, where our treasure is, there will our heart also be. May God bless all of you. Stay healthy.
Now thank we all our God with hearts and hands and voices, who wondrous things has done, in whom his world rejoices, who from our mother's arms has blessed us on our way with countless gifts